I believe that elders are very much revered in our cultures, and especially in my community. I grew up with elders. When I was born up to the age of 6, I lived with my grandparents, and so before colonization, even they were very important. They were the leaders. They were who lived our 7 sacred teachings. And prior to colonization, the elders made sure that we lived according to those teachings, and especially love and respect and truth, wisdom, courage, and humility, and being able to live according to those. Our elders were made sure that we showed a lot of lived according to our family systems as well. Each person in our families had a role, right from traditional parenting, right from babies to adulthood. The elders were very significant in terms of ceremonies. They had the preservation of our languages, the preservation of our culture, traditional teachings, and what each of those ceremonies meant to us. For instance, sun dances, sweat lodges, and also to remember that there's really a lot of diversity. And in my area, that the women elders were the matriarchs in our society, and really taught the little girls, and even the community. They taught us the roles which we were to play, and also medicines. The medicines were taught. The old ladies would take us into the bushes and show us land on the land. Everything that we need on earth is given to us by Mother Earth. And we were also, as elders, as Indigenous people, the elders taught us that we are stewards of Mother Earth. We look after Mother Earth in a good way, and make sure that it's really tough now to do that, because of, our lands were exploited, but we still do the best we can to carry on those teachings with the young people. Today, elders are. I've been living in the urban city for 53 years, and many of the elders have made their way here. We have a group of maybe about 50 elders that are residential school survivors as well. There was a big, there was a lot of disconnection when residential schools happened. Indigenous residential schools, the elders were taught not to show love, not to do a lot of things that were traditional, including languages. We were told not to speak our language, not to practice our culture, because they were of the devil. And so, as elders, when we would go home at Christmas, during holidays, they would, kind of tell us, that's not true. That we're very. It's very important that we follow these. So, elders are. Today and always, I guess, will be the people that the young people look up to. Well, traditionally we were taught in the bushes, in the land-based. We were land-based, and we were, as little kids, we were taken for medicines into Mother Earth, where medicines grow. We were taken as kids, walking along. We were taught about the 7 sacred teachings, walking along the land, sitting on the land, having our feasts on the land. And a lot of that has evolved now because of people immigrating into the cities. Like in the First Nations now, I think less than half, 50% now live there. And so there's been a real a move toward living in urban areas. And that's caused a lot of good, not very good things, because we're losing our language and our culture. along with the residential schools, like we don't have many speakers now. We're on the verge of losing our languages. And of course, with culture, you have to have that language. It's very important that young people come to us and they're searching. You know, a lot of people that are through intergenerational trauma now have grown up in care. Some of them have grown up with 60 Scoop. And some of them in residential school have lost the teachings and now are really, really wanting to do these. I myself, I'm a survivor. And many of us are recovering alcoholics as well. 23 years now I've been sober. I don't smoke or drink, but I bring that hope to the people that are suffering with mental health and addictions. And as usual, we're overrepresented everywhere in healthcare, especially, and criminal justice and elders are utilized in those institutes as well, and rightly so, because they are making a difference. We are making a difference.
Це також виховується в кожній сім'ї. Наприклад, у нас кажуть, скільки ти знаєш поколінь, стільки тобі буде вдячне твої покоління. Наприклад, мене тато навчив, що коли я приїжджав завжди додому, він каже, а ну розкажи про такого родича, про такого. І в мене по батьковій лінії аж до 7-го коліна я знаю всіх своїх, яких я і не бачив, бо вже ж багато років пройшли. І зараз по маминій лінії, на жаль, так не трапилось, бо вона до цього нас не склоняла, і якось мамина лінія як менше знаю. Але і своїх внуків, своїх дітей я намагаюся, щоб вони пам'ятали свій рід. Це і в Україні, і я вважаю в будь-якому суспільстві знати свій корінь свого роду. На Україні, але в сім'ях, особливо в сільських сім'ях, то відношення до старших, до батьків, і в школі також привчають до цього, щоб була повага до старших, до тих, хто тебе навчив, до своїх вчителів, до своїх предків, до свого коріння.
Back home, no matter you are in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, in China, you have the whole society and the community surrounded you, support a lot of things that you believed. So as elders, they act like I'm the head of the family, right? People should respect me. But if you moved, already like me, moved to Canada, we try very hard to hold on to that beliefs. As we all know, Chinese traditional value and cultural concepts such as care for our own aged parents and extend that same care to others. And love your own children, but also extend that love to the other children. And that's the very common concept that we learned from when we were young. So this kind of concept actually embedded into our mind for a long time. It's not gonna, even we moved out from our comfort zone, right, hometown, to Canada, we still try to hold on this to pass on to our community, our younger generation. We often try to explain to new immigrant parents, that's our old generation's job. Tell those new immigrant parents, relax with your kids. Give them a chance to get to know this society just like you guys are. At the same time, understand they have a different kind of pressure on their shoulder. You, as a parents, needed to make living, to make sure everybody have milk and bread. But they have to also carry on to mom and dad want me to do this, mom and dad want me to hold on to my language and this and that. At the same time, they want to blend into their peers. They wanted to be able to speak good English, right? So as an older generation like us, old immigrant like us, I think our mission should be continue provide that life experience to the new immigrant and help them to develop a happy, harmony, family relationship. We becoming a backup support, not right at the front to lead you. So we becoming a backup support. And before my parents, they lead me to certain directions. So I think that's different how I feel. At the language school, when we established, I make sure that we are not only teach language, we let them find some fun in our culture. For example, lion dance, Chinese yo-yo, folk dance, singing, calligraphy, painting. So you need to use that to let your young generation to know, hey, this is very neat, this is very cool. It's different from other culture. If you just keep saying you follow the traditional manner, you follow the traditional language, that's too very important but a very boring thing for the young generation. So you need to have that combination.
I'm originally from Nigeria. I come from the part called the Niger Delta region. That is the area that produces the oil in Nigeria, the famous oil in Nigeria, and it's also the area that we have lots of rivers, and it's also bordering the Atlantic Ocean. My tribe is Ijo, and what I'm putting on is called etibo. Etibo is the clothes that elders wear when they want to deliberate issues. And I'm actually here to deliberate issues as an elder, so I'm here. Okay, in my culture, the elders, basically their role is to advise the younger ones. Their role is also about policy formulation. So it may not be what you call policy in the right word, in the context of the word, but it's about putting the rules. They are like the guardians of the community. They provide the guardrails. So the policies are just like the guardrails. So there are places you shouldn't go, where you shouldn't go in the community, forest you shouldn't go to, why you shouldn't go, why they don't eat some animals, why they eat the others, and what are the historical antecedents between the animal and the inhabitants of that place, and why they don't eat that, and why they eat some specific animals and all the rest. So the elders play those roles in terms of stabilizing the community, providing guardrails, and also in the case where there are warring factions, the elders are the people that go to mediate between two families, and in some cases, communities. When two communities are fighting, the elders go to settle them. And where the two communities are the communities that are fighting, and a neutral community, but the elders, they come. So they are basically, their roles are mediatory. So whether in my community, or in the broader Nigerian context, elders are mainly, and they don't sit in isolation, they sit in a group. And in the traditional palace, in where I come from, they call it a tele. A tele is like an elevated altar where people sit by the riverside. So they know when people are coming, when enemies are invading, they are the people like watchmen. They stay. So they stay whichever way. They know when the women go to farm and when they come back. And they keep count of when women, the number of people that have gone out and come in. So yeah, so by sitting in that strategic position where they see like most of the community, they know the last count of people that have gone. And if there's any woman that has not returned from the farm, they send an early warning sign for people to go and look for them, especially during the flood times where the plains cover the land. Basically, you don't become an elder as a young man. You can be a young man and be a king. but you can't be an elder as a young man. So it comes with gray, it comes with experience, it comes with acquiring knowledge, having a family, and growing. So probably one of the entry points of being an elder is that you might be a grandfather or a grandmother. Traditionally, in the context of the eldership, it has always been constant, but it has evolved with technology. Before, if they want to gather elders, the gong in the village would sound right. But right now, they can call each other. So it has evolved in the context of adaptation to technology, but in the context of the role that they play, it hasn't evolved in any way. The mediatory role, becoming guardrails in the society, and actually providing direction where there is a need. It has not evolved in that context. But in the context of the how, where do they gather? Do they still gather by the riverside? No, they may gather in somebody's house. Or what else do they do? So they adopt technology. But it has really not changed in the context, because it's still about the storytelling line and how they greet each other. That there's no how I will see somebody that is older than me, and I know that this person is older than me, and I will shake him with one hand. It can never happen. I will have to shake him with my two hands. If I do that, I will be fined. So the fine doesn't go away. Maybe the type of fine may change. 10 years ago it was $1, or in the case of Nigeria, 1 naira, and now it is 100 naira. So the price would have changed, but the value attached to what they are asking for has not changed. So it has evolved, yes, we are involved, but contextually, the role of the leaders has not changed in any way.